Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the Canopy Cafe on this Thursday, May 14th, 2020. I can't believe it's already May 14th. Feels like we've been living and working from home for quite a while now. So it is already mid-May, so that's a thing. I'm Ben Smock. I'm the Director of Development with Canopy, and Canopy is working to support good business throughout Kentucky, and our vision is to make Kentucky first in good business. And we have been hosting these Canopy Cafes over the last I guess over a month now, and bringing on voices of business leaders, community leaders, nonprofit executives, and just amazing people in our communities that are doing great work. We miss having these conversations at our office at Canopy's headquarters in Portland, the neighborhood in Louisville, Kentucky. And this is an attempt to understand how people and businesses are showing up in these unprecedented times, and how we can support one another, and just to have great conversations with great people. And today we are fortunate to have Natalia Bishop, who is the founder and chief of happiness for Story Louisville and Level Up, which I have to say is one of the most amazing job titles that I've ever seen. So welcome, Natalia.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Ben. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Good morning. It's great to see you. I wish it were in person, but virtually will do for now.
This works. We'll make it work, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think it's
So how
funny.
are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Like all things considered, I've had like 3 meltdowns. I think over the course of the past 8 weeks, but they have been very intentional meltdowns, and then like you just gotta get it together and you keep going. So thankfully everybody's healthy in my household, and so we are fortunate to have that. And then of course, as a small business owner, experiencing all the crazy, you know in all the different ways that this is manifesting for small business owners, but optimistic and hanging in there. So
That's good. That's good.
yeah.
So as a small business owner, what are you experiencing in these
Oh
times?
my gosh. Yeah. Thankfully we have some time to unpack that question. And you're like
Yes, of
not even
course.
playing. You're like, oh, your job title is great. Let's talk about your business now. So I mean, I think for just a little bit of background, like I have two companies, both are in very different stages and in very different fields, and do very different things, but also are very similar. I think that as a human, I've sort of always been interested in community and people, in connection, and so out of that, Story Louisville was born, and we are a co-working space with a focus on programming and resources for founders and creative entrepreneurs. So we have about 20,000. Actually, it's going to be 28,000 square feet of co-working here in Louisville. It is a lifestyle company, so it's a small business, and as a small business that is specific to people getting together in real life, that has been a little bit of a challenge with COVID and all of the restrictions that we've had. So, to begin with, I kind of knew that things were kind of going to head that way early on in, like late February, just because I had been in San Francisco when their state of emergency was called, and kind of had an idea of what was going to be going on. So very quickly, I knew we had to do some things to kind of pivot. So we've lost quite a bit of revenue for events and memberships, because a lot of our business, or a lot of the business that are housed within our business are either like one entrepreneur or smaller teams. And so all of those people have had, troubles themselves. And so that has been very challenging, and just the loss of revenue and the uncertainty. I think the other piece as a business owner that has been hard is just that anxiety of not truly knowing, when things are going to open back up and get better. And so, like, what do you tell your staff? So we ended up having to actually lay off most of our staff, that that was working with us at the time. And just now, through the process of applying through PPP and SBA and all the things in here and that, that has been, I think, emotionally very difficult. But what we did is we did a big pivot, and we focus on what we're really, really good at, which is creating community and giving people the resources that they need, and kind of took all of that virtual, and actually proved the value that our membership is not just about the physical space. So it has been really nice to kind of get that validation from our members that have stayed and have said, hey, we really want this to be here when we get back. And so that's been pretty cool as a small business owner.
That is good. That is good. And obviously, and you said it well, your work is centered around connecting entrepreneurs and in our community and to the community. And,
yep.
and, it's nice to hear that the value is still showing up, even though the model has shifted as many businesses are adapting. So what are your thoughts on the future of co-working spaces moving forward?
So, I want to preface what I'm going to say by saying that I am really, I think this is a tragedy. Obviously, it's a tragedy, and it's something that it's sad and hard, and it sucks, and the loss of life and what people are experiencing, it's just really, really hard. But for businesses that thrive on future work, like mine does in a way, we are basically seeing an acceleration of our timeline. Like, I knew as a person that's looking at the trends that remote work was going to be taking over and be a thing. 6 years from now, the trends where 40% of the workforce will be going remote, and I think that because of what we're experiencing right now, everybody is a remote worker, right? Everybody that is able to work remotely is working remotely, and companies are still going. Some companies obviously are not, but a lot of other people are able to do their work from home, and I think because of that, you're going to see employees sort of demand that out of their employers more and more, the ability to work from home. What is great about that for our industry, for co-working in general, is that working from home actually sucks, as most of us really know. It's got so many advantages, right? And it's exciting because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so much done. And it's great for about 2 months. And then it just working alone sucks, right? And so you start becoming isolated and seeing the mental health effects of isolation. We're not meant to be doing this home 24/7. So enter the middle solution, which is co-working. You can still work remote, enjoy the benefits of being from home 3 days a week, and come into a space where you actually get to see other humans and have water cooler talk and so on and so forth. So we do expect that we're bracing ourselves pretty hard for over the next 3 months, because we just don't know what's going to happen and how long. But after that, we are definitely looking for an uptake on just all the things from the enterprise side. So we're focusing on products that are specific to enterprises. How do we address that for your workforce and still keep them connected to the culture of the company? How do we introduce corporate innovation into the spaces and stuff like that? And then for individuals, like just the opportunity, excuse me, the opportunity to be with other people that share similar values, and that will sort of inspire them and make it more collaborative and valuable for their own company. So
very good. Well said, well put. And yes, although I have also experienced the novelty of working from home kind of wearing off.
It's week like 8. You're like, yay, no.
At first it's cool. You're like, oh, great. All right, I'm gonna make my coffee. I'm gonna settle in. This is nice. And and so I'm here with Baxter the dog, and he loves it. He gets all the walks and things like that. But my coworker who's running the show right now, Ben Lee, I see him every morning, and he's got his brand new baby strapped to his chest, and things are tough, and childcare is an interesting, thing to navigate while you're trying to work full time from home. And I'm sure you're experiencing that too.
Yeah. And in that regard too, like, it's like you talked about your dog and your kids and or Ben's kids. And, one of the things we want to address is like, how can we make a workplace that, for us is in our mission statement, is how do we make it where it prioritizes your personal values. And if your personal values are your dog is a part of your family, how do we not leave your dog in a cage for 9 hours, but make it so that you can bring him? Or, if you're a dad and you have baby duty that morning, and because mom is working or whatever, can you bring your child to a meeting for 1 hour and have a place to feed him and put him down for a nap or whatever? So like we're sort of addressing that with our model, while still kind of being, mindful of the professional setting. So
that's great. Love to hear it. So how is Story and Level Up showing up for the community right now?
So first we have, speaking from the Story side, we have a great partnership with Microsoft and the Future Work Initiative here in Louisville, and as well as LEAP, which is the public-private partnership that basically is sort of like helping entrepreneurship advance here in the region. So with both of those, with their support, we've been able to put a lot of virtual programming on and continue to bring, like now we're bringing speakers from like all over the place. Our last shout down, we had someone from Canada that was specific to venture capital. We're looking to put in like a sales workshop of like, how do you actually pivot your business model and are able to sell it, because you're going to need to sell it after this thing is there. And then for us as an organization, one of the things that I thought was going to be really needed is there's going to be a lot of displaced workers, people that are part of the gig economy, and people that are just that in the service industry, and maybe their businesses aren't coming back. And so how can we help them maybe start something of their own, or if they have a business already, create a product line, an additional revenue. So with Story, we created a program called SLAP. And SLAP is running. We ran the beta a couple months back, and then we're running it again this month. At the end of the month, applications are open, storylouisville.com/SLAP.
Right.
But also, what we did for the community is we actually decided to make this a pay as what you can model. So normally this is a $499 program. It lasts 8 weeks. You get like one-on-one mentorship. It's all kinds of stuff attached to it. But we said, okay, it's hard right now. It shouldn't be a barrier whether or not you can pay. Come on over. We'll figure it out. And so we're doing that for this next cohort. And then with Level Up, we did something really similar. And Level Up is, a tech platform. We're a software company on a mission to connect, educate, and inspire women. We're doing that through in-person live classes, and also online live classes, and workshops. So what we did for Level Up was a huge pivot. Obviously, we can't do in-person classes, but we can do, how do we keep that feedback loop and those things that make our in-person classes so successful and translate it into online. So we translate it into live classes that are online. And we've done, over the month of April, we did 9 workshops that were completely free. And it ranged everything from like pandemic parenting to stuff that was just like, take your mind off of the crapshoot and just like come paint, right? Or finances. How do we budget for this? How do we make sure that we're still not just surviving but thriving? And so we did all of those for free over the last month, and then we'll have a couple more this month, and then our classes are super accessible. So that's what we're hoping to kind of do to give back during this time.
Great. And so applications for SLAP will be available at the end of May, this May?
They're currently open. So if you are thinking about like launching, and you don't have to be a Louisville native to do this, you can be anywhere in the world. It's going to be run completely virtually. And it's an 8-week program, 7.5 weeks or so. And it meets once a week for like an hour and a half or 2, depending on the length of the night. And it's pretty cool. It's like a hodgepodge of all of these like entrepreneurial thinking ways, and help you develop your MVP and customer discovery. And so it's a pretty exciting program.
Good, good. Well, and I know people can find out about that by visiting the website. Good.
Storylouisville.com/slap SLAP.
Perfect.
Mhm.
So, what do you see as the opportunity for entrepreneurs, as we move through and beyond everything posed by the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy to get scared, and it's natural to get scared and panicky because we just there's uncertainty, there's all the volatility, but I think a good exercise is to just sort of for me anyways, is to just sort of take a breath and say, okay, what is my next step? What is my next right step? Not like if I look at the whole thing, it's overwhelming, right? But if what
Right.
is my next right step, and let your sort of your belly button guide you into
Right.
that right,
I like
into
that.
that right next step.
Hmm.
And so for me, I think like what we need to do is get out of that this super and us entrepreneurs, our minds are wired to look at opportunity, and if they are, and that there should that's kind of like the goal, right? Like what is the solutions, what are the every problem in the world that or everything that makes us uncomfortable we want to fix somehow. And so sort of like stopping the panic is the first step, and the second piece will be sort of embracing the opportunity that is happening right now across so many industries that before weren't really sexy. Things like ed tech, like level up, and the education technology, like that had never been a sexy opportunity for investors before. But it is definitely positioning itself to be like one of the highest investable industries for the remainder of the next 5 years. So kind of thinking about if you're and really taking the time to think through what problem do I want to solve instead of
Hmm.
just throwing products out there for the fun of it.
Right.
I mean, if you have a product that's awesome and is solving a solution or a solution to a problem that is important and social, then yeah, by all means, go for it too. But I think like taking the time to sort of slow down and say, what is that thing that makes me take that why, right?
Yes.
And attacking that problem and creating solutions around that
Mhm.
is going to be the way to go.
Absolutely. And we always throw around the term at Canopy of good business,
Yeah.
which can take on many different meanings. And from what I've seen and from what our team has seen, businesses that are adapting and finding creative ways to show up and to pivot during these times and to, really find new value in terms of how they operate and how customers and partners perceive them. I think it's really showing up more and more. It's becoming more of a demand, for customers and employees and the public. These are the companies that are just celebrated and are going to survive and thrive everything.
Yep.
And so we toss around that term a lot, and we've seen a lot of great examples of good business showing up. Whether it's a company pivoting and making PPE, or a janitorial company that shows up and pays their employees more because they're working in potentially hazardous situations during this crisis. And so, how would you, Natalia, define good business?
For me, good business is a company that it's centered around a why that or is built upon a why that is solving a social or an issue that affects a community. And this you don't necessarily have to be a social impact company in order to be solving an issue for the community. A good company is one that takes care of their employees, not just in the compensation way, but it's helping them with their becoming their own person and advance, not just in their careers but in their personal um, journey as a human. And then lastly, I think it's a company that is driven by its values, not just like in paper. Like we see that all the time where it's just like, hey, I'm going to put 5 things on my website and call them my values. But it's one that the culture is driven by that, and it touches every single piece of their interactions, whether it's with customers or with investors or, their employees themselves. But to me, it's really about that cycle of like, you start with the problem and how do you bring it right back into the community with your solution or with your company. So
yeah, very good. And as a Canopy certified program letter of intent signatory, what do you see as Canopy? How do you see Canopy being relevant in the post-COVID world, or as we move through this?
I think now more than ever, consumers are very we are very hyper aware of the motives and the whys of the companies that we're interacting with and that we're patronizing, right? So like for me, having a certification or a model certification that says I'm not just putting my values on my website, but I'm actually living this. These are the steps I'm taking. I'm intentional about it. I think is huge. And I think that the more we go into post-COVID, the more whoever survives all of this, the more we go into really diving into those whys and how do we give back and how do we show that we're actually accountable for those things we say we're going to do in giving back. I think that's going to become more and more of a necessity and not just like a vitamin, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
And I think you guys are doing it so well and so mindfully. So I think that I see a great future for the program, and I'm excited to participate for sure. And so I think it's going to be great.
Wonderful. Well, we're so glad to have you on board, and
Yay.
very thankful for you taking the time this morning to join us on the Canopy Cafe. We are in a moment going to switch over and welcome Mike DeCenso, who's going to talk about the Grind Virtual 5K.
Awesome.
So before we part ways, Natalia, I see the scroll running across the bottom here, so people can find out more about your work and to connect with you at storylouisville.com. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I would love for you guys to also check us out at levelupwithus.com, which is Level Up's website. Right now we have a bunch of, if you're kind of thinking about how do I skill up and how do I do, or if you just want a distraction and want to kind of check out that, we have classes and workshops live right now for the upcoming months. And so you can definitely take a look at that and see what we have to offer. So.
Perfect. Well, everybody check out Story Louisville and check out Level Up. And Natalia, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we'll catch you later. I can never get the wave right. I think the cameras are always
weird. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. And now we are going to welcome Mike DeCenso, who is with Leap and is working on the Grind Virtual 5K with Mulathon. So welcome, Mike.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm preparing. I'm getting loose.
There we go. Yeah. I was watching something that you produced. I guess it was a live stream, maybe recently, and it was you call yourself Mike D from the Beastie Boys.
I do enjoy a good Beastie Boys song or two. I think it is part of our generation, and that just seems to stand out with the it's me, Mike D.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate it. I hip hop nerd over here, so I saw that and I was like, that's cool. So thanks for joining the Canopy Cafe this morning, and tell us what you have going on with Leap and the Grind Virtual 5K.
Yeah, absolutely. So tomorrow marks the end of a month-long event that we've been holding called the Grind Virtual 5K, and it is a partnership with Louisville Metro Government, El Home, Render Capital, Greater Louisville Inc., and LenderFit, and it's all to benefit the Small Business Continuity Loan. The Small Business Continuity Loan is to really just help our local community with COVID relief. And anything that we raise using a local startup, by the way, Mulathon is a local startup where you can host your own 5Ks, your own runs. In this case, we're doing it for the Grind, and raise money through activity for a cause. And any money you raise on this Grind ending tomorrow, we will match up to $500,000. So it's a great cause. really revitalize our community, and really get out there and just be active.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I see the scroll here where people can find out more information. Is that the correct address? Where do you want to direct people to sign up?
So that's the direct line to Mulathon. An easier way to find it is to go to LouisvilleLeap.com and click on the tab that says Virtual 5K. So LouisvilleLeap.com, LEAP, and go to Virtual 5K, and you will see a button that says Donate to Mike D's Grind. Perfect. And tomorrow caps the end of it, like I mentioned. So tomorrow I will be starting at midnight, going 24 hours and trying to raise as many 5Ks as I can.
All right. All right. How many folks do you have signed up to participate so far?
So in terms of the overall virtual grind, I think we've had over 60, which is great.
Nice.
And like I mentioned, any money raised is matched up to $500,000, which is wonderful. So thank you to all to all that are participating and all that are partnering with us to do this. I've only got a handful though of backers. So if you're seeing this, help me out, because I'm doing a little crazy activity here, and would appreciate all the support possible. So get on there by the end of tomorrow and donate to the cause.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, we will make sure that we broadcast that as soon as we get off the cafe here. So LouisvilleLeap.com, support Mike and the great entrepreneurial work you're doing, that Leap's doing, that our friend Larry Horn is doing, and Mulathon. Such great companies, great people doing really cool things. So before we hop off here, any closing remarks, anything you want to leave the audience with? Maybe a Mike D line.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I am not a runner. I am not a runner whatsoever. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of walking, jogging, running, puking. It's gonna be the whole gamut. And the whole purpose of this event is just to get you outside and getting active and being involved with the community. I mean, we can't all be running together, unfortunately, during this time, but at least this event brings a sense of togetherness. And join in while you can. Join us to support the cause, and just get out there and do it.
Absolutely, a way to be together while not actually being together and staying safe. Very cool. Good deal. Well, Mike, thanks for joining us on the Canopy Cafe this morning, and good to see you virtually. I hope we see each other in person soon, and good luck. Everybody go to LouisvilleLeap.com, find out more information about the Grind Virtual 5K. Sign up, donate. It's going to a great cause and supporting some great work. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Take care, everybody. So that about wraps it up for us at Canopy and the Canopy Cafe. And so if you are interested in learning more about Canopy's work, want to receive our newsletter, if you believe in the practices that we are providing for businesses throughout Kentucky, you can sign up, you can learn more, you can support Canopy, canopyky.org. You can sign the Charter for Good Business. We're trying to collect as many signatures as we can of people that believe in the good business movement and what we stand for. So hop on there, sign the charter. We'd love to have your signature. If you're interested in donating, of course, we're a startup nonprofit, and so any contributions are very, very meaningful to us, canopyky.org/donate. And we will see you tomorrow on the Canopy Cafe with our friends from Farm to Fork, a Portland neighbor for us at Canopy, and we would always have Farm to Fork Fridays with our team going to get lunch. So we're happy to host Sherry Hurley and hear from Farm to Fork on Friday and what's our new Farm to Fork Fridays with Canopy. So take care, everybody. Talk to you soon.